I recently traveled to Spain for the first time, specifically Barcelona, and the first thing I want to talk about is the food. From drinks to desserts, I'm going to cover it all and basically build you a catered menu based on my experience. First of all, to drink, hands down, has to be sangria de cava. It is sangria that is mixed with the sparkling white wine that Spain is famous for, and it is absolutely fabulous. As someone who prefers red sangria typically, I was a little bit hesitant, but I was so surprised at the burst of flavor, the fruitiness, and the sweetness that still came through, even though it was with a sparkling white wine. Highly, highly recommend. For appetizers, I have to go with pan con tomate. It is probably the most basic thing that you could order off of the appetizer menu, but for me, it is so well made. The olive oil is so high quality, the tomato is so high quality. It is simply tomatoes smeared on a piece of toasted bread with salt and olive oil, but it hit the spot every single time I ordered it. For dinner, I am quite surprised with my decision because I am actually not a huge seafood person, but I knew that if there was going to be a place for me to try more seafood and open up my horizons, it was going to be in Barcelona, and that's exactly what I did. So for dinner, we are having the grilled tuna, or atún a la plancha. The tuna was so well made. One of my biggest grievances with seafood is so childish, but I just don't like when it tastes fishy. So I don't tend to like a lot of shellfish. I don't like a lot of regular fish that are prepared and have a final taste that kind of tastes like it's from the sea. But every grilled tuna that I tried while I was in Spain tasted like its own version of a lean steak. It was absolutely incredible. For dessert, hands down, especially because I was in Catalonia, I have to go with crema catalana. It's basically Spain's take on a creme brulee, but it has a lighter texture and hints of citrus and cinnamon, and it is so beautifully flavored, so deliciously sweet, and I probably had 4 or 5 of them in the week that I was in Spain. Now, this part, if you are a coffee lover, is absolutely crucial, but I was not ready for how incredible the espresso was in Spain. I can't get enough. Honestly, if I miss one thing the most aggressively from Spain, it is hands down their coffee. They do an amazing job. It is so delicious, and I miss it terribly. I also wanted to do a shout out for 2 restaurants that I went to that just absolutely blew it out of the water for me. The first one was a recommendation from a friend of mine who recently visited Barcelona, and that was Brunch and Cake. We actually had to try twice to come to this place because the first time we went there, we were starving and there was a line like down the block, which was just absolutely not something I was willing to do. But the following day, we tried again. There was no line and there was no wait. And I'm so glad that we ended up coming back because the food was incredible. This sandwich in particular was absolutely amazing that I had for brunch. Honestly, probably one of the best sandwiches I've ever had in my life. From the vegan brioche bun that it was on to the seasoning of the chicken inside of the sandwich, it was perfectly made. I also indulged in a Bloody Mary, which is just an absolute brunch staple, and it was perfectly made. The second restaurant that I want to call out is La Taberna del Cura. Hands down, this was the best restaurant that we ate at for the entire week we were there for any meal. We were there for dinner. We had appetizers, which was, of course, pan con tomate. We both got a different chicken dish that was absolutely incredibly made. I will say it was the first time being served an entire bird on my plate. And as somebody who was vegan a few years ago, that was quite the jump for me. I don't tend to enjoy like tearing my meat apart, but honestly, I would do it again because the sauce and the seasonings of that chicken was so incredible. It was absolutely worth sucking off the bone. That just scratches the surface of my experience of 10 days abroad in Barcelona. I also made a trip to Sitges while we were there. So if you are interested in more of my Barcelona trip, please let me know down below what you would like me to talk about, and I will be happy to bring it to you here on this channel. I don't really mean for this to turn into a food channel, but so far the first two things that I have posted has been food, but I do have a lot of other interests. A quick plug of who I am. I am a dancer, a choreographer, a dance team coach. I also love skincare and makeup, so there are a lot more things I would love to talk about. So if any of those strike interest with you and you want me to make a video about them, please write them down below. I hope that you enjoyed this quick little tour through my experience of eating the amazing food in Barcelona, and I will see you next time. Bye.